What's up guys, Mike here, Building for Life, and today I'm doing a bodybuilding Q&A from questions that you guys asked me. I have a bunch of questions here that I got from emails, comments, private messages, and I want to answer your questions. If you have any questions that you would like me to answer, just email me at buildingforlifetraining@gmail.com. First question, how many days a week should I work out? Well, that depends. How many days can you commit to? When I have a new client, the first thing that I ask him is how many days can you commit to working out? So that's going to depend on you, your schedule. There's no magic number. I'm not going to tell you you have to work out 7 days a week. You can get great results working out 3 days a week if you're going to work out really intense, you're going to rest, and you're going to eat properly, eat clean, and make sure you're getting enough protein and rest and all those kind of things. So it's really going to depend, but definitely at least 3 days a week for resistance training. If you can get cardio sessions in between on your rest days, if you can train your abdominal muscles at least a few days a week, that's a great place to start off with. Okay, what supplements should I take? Well, if you're a new lifter and you're just starting out, I would say there really aren't too many supplements that you need to take. What you really need to focus on is your nutrition. You should be getting adequate protein to rebuild the muscle that you're going to be tearing down in the gym. If you find it hard to get enough protein in your diet because you're on the go, maybe you live a certain kind of lifestyle where you don't have a lot of time to cook, you can try things like protein supplements, protein powders. You can do whey protein. If you're vegan, you can do plant protein. But other than that, I would stay away from too many supplements. As you progress and you want to take your training to the next level, you can try supplements like creatine and amino acids, which are great as well. Should I take steroids? No, you shouldn't take steroids. Here's the thing about steroids. I'm not 100% against them. I understand why people use them and why in competitive bodybuilding and certain sports like football and UFC, I understand why people do them and why the temptation is there. But if you're an average lifter and you don't plan on competing in bodybuilding competitions, there's really no reason to do steroids. There's so many negatives against them that the negatives, for me anyway, the negatives outweigh the potential positives. The risk of your health, who are you getting these steroids from? How do you know what you're putting into your body? You're injecting yourself with a needle. You're risking your freedom by breaking the law. So to me, ultimately, is it really worth it for some of the effects you're going to get? So I would say definitely no on the steroids. How much rest time should I take in between sets? It really depends. How hard are you training? Are you lifting 90% of your max? Are you powerlifting? Or are you lifting very light weights and doing a lot of reps? If you're starting out, you're a new lifter, you're most likely not lifting very heavy weights. You're going to try to aim for a higher rep range. You're going to be training more in an endurance type of phase. So if you're doing a lot of reps, I wouldn't take a lot of rest time in between, definitely no more than a minute. And you can try to do things in between sets like jumping jacks or just jog in place to keep your heart rate going. But I wouldn't take too much rest time in between. If you're a new lifter, you can do things like circuit training. Definitely do things like supersets, drop sets, where you do 2 exercises together without resting at all in between. Really, the more time you spend in the gym being active, the better your results are going to be. Which is better, body weight training or free weights? Well, again, it depends. What is the goal? What is your ultimate goal in mind? Are you looking to put on mass, size? Are you looking to build muscle endurance? But to me, a well-rounded athlete is going to do both of these things. So you should be doing things like push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, all these kind of body weight exercises, and free weights as well. You can superset them. If you're doing a bench press, drop down and do some push-ups. You can combine a lot of these exercises. I think a well-rounded athlete is going to do all these things. But if I had to pick one, I would say free weights. By lifting free weights, you're going to have the ability to overload your muscles and force growth. So if that's your goal, which is to gain muscle size, then you're definitely going to have to do some free weight training. How much cardio should I be doing? It depends how much weight you have to lose, and more specifically, how much body fat do you have to lose. If you have a lot of body fat to lose, you're going to want to do more cardio sessions. There is always going to be a debate on the best way to do cardio, and you kind of have to experiment for yourself how you want to do this. There are a lot of people that recommend fasted cardio, like first thing in the morning before you eat anything. Maybe go for a jog or go on the treadmill or the elliptical. and do some cardio, because the idea is that without eating, your body's going to be more likely to burn fat. But you should be doing cardio. Again, if you're a new lifter, I would say at least 2 to 3 times a week. Definitely on your off days. So if you're weight training 3 days a week, then in between, like let's say you're weight training Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then you could be doing Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, do cardio sessions. If you want to speed up your results, yeah, you can. Some people will do cardio sessions the same day as their weight training. But if you're new, take it slow, ease into it, and build up to that. And it's something that you eventually will want to do. How do I decrease body fat? This is a good one because, again, you don't want to just lose weight and then end up sacrificing your lean muscle mass. You want to actually know if you're decreasing your body fat. I recently did a video on how to measure body fat. You can do this very inexpensively using skin fold calipers. The way to do this, to lose body fat, your calorie consumption has to be at a deficit. But the idea is you don't want to cut calories too low that you start losing your muscle mass. So it could just be 100 or 200 calories less per day, maybe increase your cardio a little bit. Slow and steady is the idea. You don't want to lose more than 1 to 2 pounds of body weight a week. If you have a lot of body fat to lose, if you're overweight or obese, you can increase your cardio a little bit more. And even if this takes a year, 2 years to get where you want to be, it's going to be so much more worth it if you do it the right way, instead of sacrificing your lean muscle mass and making yourself more likely that you're just going to gain the weight right back. So, how do I deal with food cravings? If you're somebody that looks at food as a form of comfort or joy or satisfaction, you have to kind of break that habit, and that can be very difficult. If you tell somebody that they're going to have to give up certain foods forever and eat just chicken breasts and broccoli and protein shakes, that person most likely is not going to stick to that kind of diet. So having certain things like a cheat meal once a week, something to look forward to after, basically you should have these certain kind of foods, like sweets or whatever, certain things that you know you shouldn't be eating. They should be something that you have to earn, all right? So if you work hard all week, you train hard, you eat right, you do everything right, and then on Friday night you go out and you have dinner and you eat something that you shouldn't really be eating, well, you earn that. But it has to be something that you look forward to. If eating junk food is something that you just do every day, then it doesn't mean anything. It's not something special. It's just part of your regular routine. Pretty much, there's basically a rule of like 80-20 or even 90-10, where basically it matters what you do 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time you can kind of cheat. I don't recommend full cheat days, definitely cheat meals, because a cheat day turns into a cheat weekend, and then before you know it, you just ruined all your progress that you made during the week. How to really deal with food cravings: if you're someone that likes sweets and certain foods that aren't good for you, you're always going to kind of have that, but as you start changing the way you eat, you'll become more sensitive to those things. So as you start cutting out things like sugar and salt from your diet, your body will adapt. And then when you have something that's really salty or sugary, you're going to be very sensitive to it, and you may actually not even like it. So you have to give your body a little bit of time to adapt to your new lifestyle change. How do I know if I'm overtraining? Well, overtraining, the hard thing about that is that you may realize that when it's too late and you have an injury. So you really want to avoid overtraining, especially when it comes to weight training. You don't want to do more than an hour in the gym. That's kind of the old school bodybuilding mentality, spending 2-3 hours in the gym. You have to remember people like Arnold and all the bodybuilders of that time, or even if you want to look at the bodybuilders of today. If they're taking steroids, they're more likely to be able to handle that extra stress, whereas an average lifter, someone who's not on steroids, is not going to be able to handle that extra push. So definitely aim for an hour or less in the gym when it comes to weight training, to avoid overtraining. And of course, give yourself the proper rest time. You can train when you're sore, but you have to learn how to put your training schedule together so that you kind of give your upper body rest. Like for me, I'll train chest one day, and then the next day I'll train legs, and then I'll train back, and then I'll train shoulders, and then arms or something like that. But I always try to kind of go like upper body, upper body, maybe abs, or maybe cardio one day. To give your body the rest. Even though you're still training hard, you're giving certain muscle groups a rest so that they can actually heal and recover. Alright, so that's a bunch of your questions, guys, and I hope I answered them as best I could. If you have any more questions, please leave them down below, or you can send your questions over to buildingforlifetraining@gmail.com. Thanks for asking these questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.